This would make a sneaky good signing, as this player's departure leaves a huge hole that could be filled by this player and his elite skill set. Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Padres Digest with your host, Andrew. Today, we're talking about some free agency stuff. The World Series just ended. I refuse to acknowledge who won. The entire team and their fan base can go screw themselves. But now we're at the more important part. The off-season. Yay, off-season. God. We're back to the endless loop and cycle of Padres baseball. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are. But let's talk about two things. So, firstly, today we're talking about... Oh, also, please subscribe as always. And apply for Digest Media if you would like. My thing didn't work. Hold on. Boop. There we go. Apply to Digest Media if you like talking about sports and you want to write, make videos, whatever. Please apply. Okay, my hot button's not working no more. I'll fix that later. Anyways, so let's start with the big news that we saw from today. Michael King declines the mutual option with the Padres. Basically, he's taking his money, or he's not taking his money, I guess, and he's taking his ball and going to free agency. Let's put it that way. He's going to be a free agent. I don't think anyone should be surprised by this. I saw this comment that says this is a bit of a surprise for me, given that he missed basically the entire season. Will the Padres give him a QO as in qualifying offer? I don't think this is very surprising. I thought there was like a 10% chance he would have taken it, even with the injured season. Like, it was 5% to like start the season, and then after the course of the season, it was at like 10%. So I don't think anyone should be surprised by this. If you don't know what a qualifying offer is, it's like a what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, I can't use big words. Basically, he would sign a year contract for like the average for a player of his caliber. It's usually like 20-something million a year. It'd probably be like 21 million. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. But it would be like a year contract. They would get like, say, 20 million. But if they don't get the qualifying offer, like they don't choose to accept it, then the Padres will get a draft pick after like the 4th round. Actually, I don't know why I'm explaining this to you, because I do have a graphic to show you that basically explains it. It's from Nick Deeds on MLB Trade Rumors. In the short term, the Padres seem all but certain to extend King a qualifying offer, which King seems equally likely to reject. That process will leave King tied to draft pick compensation this winter. Last month, MLB Trade Rumors Mark Sure took a look at what each team would receive if they lose a qualified free agent and the penalties they'd pay to sign one. If King departs San Diego, the Padres would receive a oh my god, why can't I read? Compensatory. Just yell at me, please. Just yell at me. Pick after the 4th round in the 2026 draft. Of course, that would only come in play if King doesn't re-sign with the Padres. The team's clear needs at the top of the rotation mean that a reunion can't be entirely ruled out, but in recent years, San Diego has eschewed, yell at me again, giving out large paydays to free agent starters in favor of more creative approach. Just continue yelling at me for my lack of grammar understanding. But yeah, Michael King, he's bye-bye. But some people, like this person, completely dependent on his arm and health, and the Padres would know exactly what his arm situation is. I want us to pay Michael King, and then Kevin Acee also said the same thing, but we don't have to mention that. But pretends to be shocked. But seriously, I hope they can bring back him or someone of his caliber. Hey, guess what I found, you guys? Someone who is as good and maybe better. Ranger Suarez. We can look at that if you want really quick. But Ranger Suarez. You might know the name. He was a pitcher. I guess he still kind of is a pitcher for the Phillies. Not really, though. Who has been very good against us for some reason. But he's a very interesting pitcher. I feel like he's not on a lot of people's radars, to be honest, even though he is a pretty effective pitcher. Not in the same kind of way that Michael King or Dylan Cease could be, where they're more like strikeout pitchers. Ranger Suarez is more of a contact pitcher, so he gives up contact, but he is very good at not giving up hard contact, and you can see that in these stats right here. So pitching run value, 90, which is great, right? Breaking stuff is really good. Off-speed stuff, really good. Fastball, not great. As you can see from the velocity, he has some of the slowest fastball, and one of the slowest fastballs in the league at 90.5 miles per hour average, which you might be concerning, especially because we're so used to seeing like Paul Skeens throwing 100, Ohtani throwing 100. But what he does with it works really well. So as you can see, the average exit velocity of balls that get hit off of him are only 86.5 miles per hour, which obviously 86 miles per hour is fast, but it's at the 95th percentile, which means he's one of the best in the league. And people do not hit him hard at all. 31.1 at 98. People don't barrel him. He doesn't walk people. He does give up, he does have a good ground ball percentage, which means he does give up ground balls, but that's not really a bad thing because we have one of the best defenses in the league on infield wise, and the Phillies don't have a good defense in the infield. And look how good he did, 3.20 ERA. So I think he would be a sneaky good signing for the Padres if they were able to get him. And I do have this to show you. This is from the article. Was it Jim Bowden? I think it was from the Athletic, or was it Athletic? Yeah, the Athletic. I think I had a graphic. I forgot to bring it up, but it's fine. Age 30 years old. B WAR 4.7, and then blah blah blah. Agent Boras Corp. That should always be concerning for you if you know who Scott Boras is. Look it up. But he's like one of the. He probably is the biggest agent in the entire sports of baseball. He's a tough negotiator, let's put it that way. But Suarez has been one of the most consistent left-handed starters in baseball over the last 2 seasons, making a combined 53 starts with an ERA and FIP, both hovering about around 330 over the span. FIP is field-independent pitching, so it has a bunch of factors. Look it up. I'm not going to explain too much into it, but look it up if you'd like. He doesn't throw hard, but his secondary pitches are very effective, and he throws strikes. There should be plenty of interest in the lefty, considering he has only 762 career innings at the major league level on his pitching odometer. Salary compensations, you can, or comparisons, you can look at that if you want. Best team fits, though, as you can see, Padres are definitely on there. They're saying 6 years, 164 million. I looked it up. I think it was 27 million a year, which does feel like a lot, to be honest. But from a Boras agent or a Boras client, it's not unlikely that he would get that, if you know what I'm saying. But there are some definite what's the word I'm looking for? Sides to it, I guess. I just forgot to speak. So I have some good stuff to show you, and then something that might change your mind. I don't know. We'll see. But Ranger Suarez was elite this year in suppressing hard contact. Our Arsenal metrics might explain why. He was 6th among starting pitching in surprise factor and 3rd in velocity spread. I'm going to be honest. I don't know exactly what surprise factor is, but I'm assuming... Oh, it says right here. Never mind. Meaning batters were often caught off guard by his pitches movement and struggled to be on time. That is exactly what I was going to say. I promise you. I forgot it said that. Oops, where were we? Right here. This is particularly true for his changeup, which got great results despite mediocre metrics. That pitch had elite movement and elite and velocity spread along with a low pitch type probability, suggesting it was hard for batters to pick up. So he has really good movement, and he's very good at switching things up and keeping batters on their toes, aka the surprise factor. But I saw this, I thought it was really interesting, from SNY, obviously the New York Mets broadcast agency. While Suarez has been effective, with that effectiveness backed up by most of his advanced stats, it's fair to wonder how much longer he'll be above average. For a pitcher who doesn't strike out a lot of batters, has an iffy fastball, and has never pitched 158 innings or more in a season, it's hard to envision a 6-year pact being a sensible one for any team to give to Suarez. Pros and cons: should Mets replace Mets with Padres? Sign Ranger Suarez. So that's true. So he's not like the epitome of longevity in seasons, but I feel like we have enough depth in our system to, if he were to get injured, we would be okay in the meantime. Obviously right now we wouldn't be, but like once we make these moves and get more pitchers, I think we'll be okay. I think we have enough depth to do that. But like we've been saying, I can show you some of the stats too. I know you guys love your stats, but basically it just shows batted ball profile, which is like ground ball percentage. So it's like he's at around 50 to 60, which means higher than average. So he's a ground ball pitcher. Fly ball stuff. If you want to look at it, feel free. I thought this was important to take a little look at because he is a pitcher who pitches for contact. But basically what you got to know, he's a ground ball heavy pitcher, keeps the ball low in the zone. Yes, I have it written out by ChatGPT. Thank you so much, ChatGPT, for being amazing. Limits pulled air contact, which is where homers come from. So he generates weak contact and bats. It's a top, what do you call it? God, words. My brain is fried today. Basically, they hit off the top of the ball, so it gets weak contact and it doesn't pop out of the stadium, or they hit under it, so it goes into a ground ball. But he's very good at making sure the pitches don't get squared up. And we showed you on this one, too. He doesn't get hard hits. So that means the ball's not hitting the center of the bat. It's either going a little low or a little high, resulting in outs. And what's the most important thing a pitcher can do? Get outs. Below average barrel and solid contact rates equals few hard hits, and success comes from location, movement, and deception, not overpowering velocity. And honestly, I feel like someone who throws, I know the stats don't really back this up, but someone who doesn't throw 100 miles per hour has better longevity than someone, or has worse if you throw 100 miles per hour, it does more on your elbow than someone who throws 90, even though his movement does strain his arm a little bit, and that's what happened to him a past couple of times. But I think still it's a good idea to pick him up. I accidentally cut off the stat part from this because I did not pay attention well enough. But as you can see from the 20.25, that's the ERA section. Ignore 2020. That doesn't matter. Right, but the past few seasons, 320 and 346. 418 is not great. Not bad, though, but 365. Like, he's... I know ERA is not a be-all, end-all stat, but he does a good enough job that I would be happy to have him on this team. I think, personally, he would be a good fit. And I am curious to know what you guys think. Xander Bogaerts had his best defensive year probably ever, I think, last year. Jake Cronenworth at second so far. Manny Machado, and then first base, I don't know, Gavin Sheets as of right now. But I think our infield is definitely good enough. Our outfield, too. I mean, Tatis, Gold Glover. Not yet, but probably will be. Like, we have a good enough defense that Ranger Suarez's kind of play works well for us. And I think that's why he'd be a great pickup. But let me know what you guys think. Do you like Ranger Suarez, or do you want someone who can throw harder, is more strikeout focused to replace Michael King? Or, I don't care, just get us someone good. Let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. As always, I will learn how to read eventually, probably not. And have a fantastic rest of your day. Go Padres. Off season, baby.